This guy can't seem to stay out of court.
You're back again? Really? We have some video from when you were here before.
His ex-girlfriend was constantly messaging me, saying she was gonna do stuff to me. This girl was crazy.
Is she the crazy ex this other young lady was referring to?
Yes, ma'am.
You seem to have a lot of problems with women in your life, sir.
And later, Judge Faith gets to the real message in a bottle.
I turn around, she hits me with a liquor bottle.
A liquor bottle?
Yes.
Where did she hit you?
Right here.
Why did you do that?
Like I said, things had already escalated.
You pick up a liquor bottle, which is a dangerous weapon that's an assault. You escalated it.
Plaintiff Richard Wilson says his ex-girlfriend intentionally pushed over his motorcycle, causing extensive damage. He's suing for the cost of repairs. Defendant Jessica Keithley says her ex locked her out of the apartment, so she owes him nothing. She's countersuing for unpaid rent and phone expenses.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Wilson versus Keithley.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
Richard Wilson?
Yes, ma'am.
You were suing the defendant Jessica Keithley for $2,107 for damages you say she caused to your motorcycle?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were countersuing, ma'am, for $2,390 for unpaid rent and a phone bill?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll start with you, sir. Tell me what's going on.
Well, when I met Jessica, everything was going good. You know, we was dating for about 6 months, and I decided to propose to her. After I proposed to her, everything changed. She started getting too controlling, telling me when I could and can't ride my bike. I left for 3 hours. I came back home an hour late, and she just flipped out on me. I couldn't go fishing when I wanted to go fishing. I just couldn't do it. She was like too controlling, so that's when all the fighting started.
Okay, what do you have to say about that, ma'am?
That wouldn't be true.
How did the two of you meet?
At a gas station. It was really late one night, and he came up and pulled up in front of me on his bike and wouldn't let me pull off until he gave me his number.
Okay. And what happened next?
I texted him, and then it just kind of went from there. We've spent every day together.
And did the two of you eventually move in together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when was that? How long after meeting did you move in with him?
We moved in on
Hold on
the
a second.
same day
Hold on a
together.
second. You look familiar to me.
I've been on your show before.
Oh, you've been in this courtroom before?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so, and I understand now from my staff that we have some video from when you were here before. Let's take a look at it.
His ex-girlfriend was constantly messaging me, saying a bunch of stuff to where she was gonna pop up at his mom's house and she was gonna do stuff to me. This girl was crazy.
Why would you continue to be involved with someone who has a, as you described, crazy ex like that?
Because she wasn't in the picture as to what I was told. So I just left it at that, and it was just gonna be me and him, and we were just gonna go on and just do us.
Really? You're back again?
Yes.
Is she the crazy ex this other young lady was
Yes.
referring to?
Yes. And the only reason I decided to came back because them two got into cahoots together, and they were been making my life a living hell ever since I came off the show. So I decided,
Really?
so you know
So
what?
you think they teamed up together?
Yes, they did.
How old are you, sir?
30.
How many kids do you have?
5.
Judge, this makes number 7. I'm pregnant with his 7th child.
That's a lie.
You're pregnant right now with his
With
child?
his 7th child.
Prove it.
Is she pregnant with
She
your
has to
child?
prove it.
Oh, you don't believe her?
Because after I left, she was pregnant. It's not by me.
Okay, but you say you have 5 kids right now.
Yes.
By how many different women?
3.
When did you find out that you were pregnant?
A month and a half after he had left.
And what was his response to that?
There wasn't really a response. I haven't gotten a response.
You seem to have a lot of problems with women in your life, sir.
Yeah, I do. With them.
You don't think it's you?
Half of it's me. I don't think it's 100% me. I'm not perfect.
You're the common denominator is all I'm saying.
not
You're the
perfect.
one that keeps showing up in my courtroom.
Yeah, I'm not perfect, though, but I didn't ask her to push my bike over. She pushed it over out of anger.
So you guys were having an argument, and she went outside to her car, and you locked her out of the
Yeah, so I
apartment?
can get some
Well,
of
she
my things.
lives at the apartment, too.
Yes, I wanted
and
to get
she's
my...
on the lease as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I didn't want her to stop me from leaving, so I locked her out where I can get the things I need.
And when you locked her out, what did she do?
She snapped.
Coming up on Judge Faith. It's Mommy to the rescue.
So what happens? You see the bike is pushed over.
And I got really, really angry. I got pissed.
And what did you do?
I called my mom. Because if I didn't call my mom, I would have snapped on her. That's the only thing I could have did. I was so angry, I just called my mom, and she was like, just sit there, I'm on my way, calm down.
And later, the rules of engagement for roommates.
I don't do roommates.
Clearly you don't do roommates because you assaulted the only roommate you had at the time. She's a trained fighter in the military, and she didn't fight you back because she didn't want to hurt you.
Plaintiff Richard Wilson says his ex damaged his motorbike and should pay for the repairs. Defendant Jessica Keithley claims she only damaged the bike because the plaintiff locked her out.
Was she beating on the door?
She beat on the door a couple times.
Trying to get in? How long did you lock her out?
Probably a couple minutes.
How long did she lock you out, ma'am?
Over 5 minutes.
Okay, so she's beating on the door trying to get back in the apartment. And what do you say she does?
I just heard a loud crash. Went outside, looked on my bike. It was tipped over, it jacked up, gas everywhere. I started crying. It's my baby.
Really?
That's my baby. That's my baby.
No, it's not your baby. You
Not my
had
baby,
5 babies.
Yeah.
The bike is not your baby.
That's my toy.
So what happens? You see the bike is pushed over.
And I got really, really angry. I got pissed.
And what did you do?
I called my mom. Because if I didn't call my mom, I would have snapped on her. I would have snapped on her. That's the only thing I could have did. I was so angry, I just called my mom. And she was like, just sit there, I'm on my way, calm down.
So you called your mom.
And she came and she called the police.
Okay. Did you have a police report?
Yes.
May I see it?
Yes.
Did you press charges against Miss Jessica?
Yes.
You did. So
Yeah.
what happened to the criminal case?
It got dismissed. He came into court and dismissed all the charges.
Oh, you went to court and
Yes.
dismissed the charges?
Yes.
Okay. So why are you here?
I dismissed the charges because she said she was gonna fix the bike herself.
Judge Faith, that's
And
not
she's never
true.
been in jail before. And I felt bad because she went to jail because she just admitted to the police she pushed my bike over.
Okay. So what do you say happened, ma'am?
Friday afternoon, he came home. It was probably about 3 o'clock. I stepped outside to go take the trash out, and when I came back to my door, it was locked. I banged on it. I tried to open it. I didn't have any keys, no phone, no anything. And I had been drinking. Yes, I was drunk. I told him if he didn't unlock the door that I was going to knock his bike over. He still did not unlock the door after a couple of minutes, so I went outside and knocked his bike, or I was outside, so I knocked his bike over. And that's when
Why
he
do you
called
think
the
he locked
cops.
you out?
I have no idea.
Let me see photos of the bike. What is this a photo of?
You see where that frame is right there that's holding my tire together? That bent too when she pushed it. And that's a lot of money to fix.
And you understand you can't do what you did, even though he had no right to lock you out of your apartment
Correct.
where you are.
Correct.
You can't
That's why, yeah, when the cops
Let's
showed
start
up,
from
I
the
admitted
beginning.
to
The
it.
only reason I locked her out because
I
I
don't
didn't want her to
care.
stop me from leaving.
I don't care why. You can't do what you did. That's her apartment too.
Okay.
You can't lock her out. You can't then go outside and push his bike over.
Right.
She can't
and
stop
damage
me
his
from
bike.
leaving. She
Right.
can't stand in front of the door and get physical with me and rip my shirt
I
off.
don't know anything about that, sir. That's not a part of this case. I'm talking about what the two of you have admitted to me in court today. You can't do either of those things. So you're arrested.
Correct. So and I have to spend the weekend in jail because according to Nebraska state law, if they're called for a domestic disturbance,
Right.
somebody has to go to jail. So they took me. When I came back, Richard was home at the house and was on his knees begging me to stay home, telling me that he would not charge me with paying for the bike, that all he wanted to do was make everything right and make me stay home.
Is that true?
No.
You never had that conversation with her?
No.
You never begged her
No.
to stay?
No. She told me if I get the charges dismissed, she will fix my bike with her own money.
Ma'am,
you say that?
No, ma'am. I make
you never-
$14,000 a year. There's no way I would have $1,500
She told
to
me if
fix
I
the
came
bike.
home, she will fix my bike.
What's your countersuit about in regards to the phone?
He got upset one night while I was sitting at the table and chucked my phone across the kitchen floor and smashed it to pieces.
So back in April, there's an incident with the bike. You moved back into the apartment,
She never
and you
moved
all
out. I never
live
moved out.
together.
I
You
never
moved
moved
out.
out.
So you go back home. You live together
I
in
didn't-
May, in June, July. You move out.
Paid my rent.
Now you want to come to court and bring all of your drama into court and to tell me he broke my phone when we were dating. She broke my motorcycle when we were dating. He didn't pay rent when we were dating. And I'm telling you right now, I really don't care.
With mine, I've called the police. I've had to call
I'm not
the police
here,
to
listen,
get...
I'm not here to be your therapist. I'm not here to be Yana Van Zant and sort through the ins and outs of your relationship and all the drama that happened between the two of you. First of all, if you don't want someone to knock over your bike, don't lock them out of their own apartment. If you don't want someone to break your phone after you get into a dispute, then you don't move back in with your boyfriend.
You're still saying if I come home, you're gonna fix my bike.
No.
I'm not coming home. I'm done. I'm good.
I wasn't going to fix your bike.
Well, listen, here's what else is not going to be fixed. I'm not going to fix your life. Both of your cases are dismissed. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Plaintiff Amber Vanderhorst says her ex-friend moved out of the apartment they had together and broke their lease. She's suing for unpaid rent, fees, and cleaning expenses. She's joined in court today by her mother, Jackie Connors. Defendant Cassidy Williams claims the plaintiff assaulted her, so she had to move out and she owes nothing.
Your Honor, this case is Vanderhorst versus Williams.
Thank you, Barbara. Amber Vanderhorst?
Yes, ma'am.
You were suing the defendant Cassidy Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
For $4,717 you say she owes you for breaking a lease, for back rent, and also cleaning fees?
Correct.
Okay. Tell me what's going on here. How do you know the defendant?
I know the defendant because we've been friends for 10 plus years. Cassie is like a sister to me. If we ever saw disagreements, we always used to laugh at each other in each other's face about it. It was never like how it is now. So for things to spiral is kind of like a smack in the face, basically.
Is this the first time that the two of you lived together in an apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, prior to that, you just knew each other from school?
Right.
Okay. How would you describe your relationship prior to you moving in?
We always leaned on each other for things, things never got out of hand.
Okay. What was the agreement in terms of rent?
I was planning on staying with my parents to stack money so that I could move to Atlanta.
Did you say stack money?
Yes, save money.
I know what that means. Okay.
So go ahead and move to Atlanta for a job. I had spoken to Cassidy. Cassidy begged me to move with her because she was not getting along with her parents.
Okay, so what happened? Why did you move out early?
For everything's been fine. When we first moved in, all the months, her spouse came back in the picture. Then I felt as though everything...
Did you say her spouse?
Yes.
Oh, you were married?
I was dating someone.
Oh, okay.
Came in the picture, I felt as though ever since then, things started going downhill.
So you were dating someone. Did that person move into the apartment?
She was there every night.
Was she there every night?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's been a couple of weeks, things haven't been going well between me and Amber.
Because of her partner moving into the apartment?
I don't want to say because of her partner. I really don't know what the reason is, Your Honor. But one night she came home. I was minding my own business in my room. She came in my room and that's where the whole argument came into place. I was still calm the whole time.
What was she saying to you?
I'm funny, I'm slimy, what
was going on?
Coming up on Judge Faith, no one's crying over spilled milk.
You said she threw something on you?
Yes, some old milk, and heated it up on the stove, and she threw it on me.
I wouldn't set foot in that apartment another day, because I don't know when you're gonna lose it again.
Plaintiff Amber Vanderhorst says her friend and former roommate moved out early and broke their lease. Defendant Cassidy Williams claims her so-called friend assaulted her, and she owes nothing.
Cassidy as well had company that came in. She was very disrespectful, would not speak. That's really where things got out of control because of the disrespect. I was brought up that anytime you walk inside anybody's house, you speak to that person, regardless of what you have going on. She claimed that she spoke to her company about that, but it was still going on. Anytime Cassidy has issues, I always have to ask Cassidy, what's up? Nothing. Give her a minute, then eventually she'll come tell me. It's always babying her.
So what happened the night she says you came in her room and confronted her? You were angry. What was that about?
I was talking to her calm, like how I'm talking to you now.
Okay.
And I just asked her, what's up? And she was saying nothing's wrong. It just seems like every time you're in here and your guest calls you out, then you have to leave. We're not talking or nothing like that. And she ended up throwing basically dirt, hitting low blows, just in front of my guests to try and, mess up things that was going on.
That's not true.
What happened?
She came in my room. She started throwing low blows at me first. I only threw one low blow at her. Basically, what she wanted to do, she wanted to fight. And then I turned around to go in my room, pack my things, because I felt as though that was time for me to leave. Something just told me to turn around. I turn around. She hits me with a liquor bottle.
A liquor bottle?
Yes.
Did you do
Your
that?
Honor.
Did I hit her with a liquor bottle?
Okay, that means yes.
Yes,
the way
I did
you just
hit her
paused.
with a liquor
okay.
bottle.
All right.
And then continued to try to fight me. And I packed up my things and I moved.
Where did she hit
can't-
you with the? Where did she hit you?
Right here.
Why did you do that?
I did it because we were already in each other's face. That was the thing. With
So
her saying
what?
she was going
So
in her
what?
room. Okay.
Why did you do that?
Like I said, things had already escalated.
You pick up a liquor bottle, which is a dangerous weapon under the law, and you hit her in the head. That's an assault.
Okay.
I don't care if you're arguing. You escalated it. You said she threw something on you?
Yes, some old milk. And heated it up on the stove and she threw it on me.
Did you do that too?
No, I did not throw milk. I did chop her with the bottle, but I did not throw no milk.
Ma'am, are you her mother? Yes. Would you stand up, please, and step over? What do you think about all of this?
Well, I'm very disappointed in both girls. Cassidy has always been in our home. She's like a daughter to me. You know, I want the girls to get along because they've been together forever.
Well, she moved out after this fight, right?
I think before that even happened, Your Honor, there was friction somewhere in there.
Oh,
I don't know.
clearly
With the
there
girls,
was.
Something was going on, and Amber said, well, you know, I can pay my half and I can help you. And we've always done that, you know,
Okay.
with the situation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. What were you doing in Germany?
I was in the military,
Okay, what part of the military?
Army.
You're trained in combat?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm just curious. I mean, I'm just asking you. You're trained in combat?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Were you fighting back or did you
No.
just try to avoid it? So she wasn't fighting you back?
No.
Okay. So you just pretty much jumped on her?
No, I did not jump on her. No,
You just
ma'am.
said she wasn't fighting you back.
She was
She
not
wasn't trying to
fighting-
fight you.
Okay, but I did not continue to try and fight her, is what I'm trying to say, Your Honor.
Yeah, because hitting her in the head with a bottle is enough.
I chopped her one time and the bottle was dropped. Anything else besides that was straight hands. I was not fighting her with a bottle.
Oh, okay.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
You're still living in the apartment?
Yes,
Did you try to get somebody else to move in after she left?
I don't do roommates. I really don't.
Oh, okay. Well, that's going to be a problem for you. You have a duty to try to mitigate the damages that you say she owes by getting someone else to move in to the place. Listen, clearly you don't do roommates because you assaulted the only roommate you had at the time. Mm-hmm. But then you want to come into court after admitting to assaulting her and hitting her in the head with a bottle. If she wanted to fight you back, she could. She's trained. She's a trained fighter in the United States military. And she didn't fight you back because she didn't want to hurt you. Who wants to live in that apartment with you after you assault them with a bottle? I wouldn't set foot in that apartment another day because I don't know when you're going to lose it again. I have a lot of cases where people break leases and they move out. They come up with all sorts of reasons. I lost my job. I didn't have the money. I didn't, all sorts of reasons. But this is one case where I find her reason for moving out and not moving back in that apartment and refusing to pay rent to be justified. You assaulted her. You admit you assaulted her. You could be very well in a different court. You're in civil court. You could be in criminal court today. Judgment in this case is for the defendant.
She had bad credit. He was supposed to make it better.
I put my trust in him, and I have not received anything from him.
Yeah, I don't understand why she didn't get any of the information.
Because you didn't do anything.
But instead of fixing her credit score, he scored big by keeping her money.
What she's saying, sir, is you kept the money and you did not pay the bill.
Okay.
That is fraud. And that's why she went to the Better Business Bureau. I would have done the same thing.
Plaintiff Tanika Ross says she paid the defendant to improve her credit score so she could purchase a house. But the defendant took her money and never performed the services he promised. She's suing for a refund of $1,027 for services not rendered. Defendant Kevin Fisher says he was negotiating with the plaintiff's creditors all along. But when the plaintiff moved and changed her address, the whole process got messed up. He's countersuing for $1,000 for defamation of character.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Ross versus Fisher.
Thank you, Barbara. Tanika Ross, you are suing the defendant Kevin Fisher for $1,027 for a refund for his credit restoration services?
That's correct.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $1,000 for defamation of character?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, we'll start with you, Ms. Ross. Tell me what's going on here.
Well, in November of 2013, I met Mr. Fisher through a mutual friend. I had an issue of my credit where I was in the process of purchasing a home, and I contacted Mr. Fisher explaining to him that I was trying to get pre-approved for the purchasing of a home. Mr. Fisher and I met probably a few days after that.
How was he going to help you in that area?
He was going to remove some derogatory information that was on the credit.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a credit consultant.
Credit consultant?
Yeah,
and what exactly does that entail?
That entails removing things from your credit and helping boost up your scores, advising them on what credit cards to get and how to keep their balances and things like that. I've been doing it for about 10 years now.
Okay, and so you met with him and had a conversation because you wanted your credit scores to be improved.
That's correct.
And you thought he could help you.
That's correct.
Okay.
And the reason being was because the mutual friend had also used his services. She had referred other friends and family members to him, so he had a pretty good success rate in regards to repairing credit and rebuilding credit with that. So I provided him with what his fee was, which was $350. He promised to me that within a certain duration of time that my credit scores would improve.
How much did he promise you they would improve?
He stated that it would be improved probably about 50 to 60 points.
Over what period of time?
He told me to give him until March.
When did you meet with him?
This was in November of 2013. However, I began to not receive anything from any type of credit bureau.
Okay, so let me see a copy. I understand you entered into a written contract.
Correct.
Right? Who drafted the contract? You, sir?
Yes, I is.
Okay, may I see a copy of it? And so what's the process? So someone signs up to use your services, and this is a business?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, you have other people who work for you?
Well, yeah, I have one assistant that works for me.
Okay. So how does this work? They hire you, she pays you a retainer, $350,
Right.
and what's the process? What do you do?
Okay, what the process is that prior to this meeting, we pull a credit report, okay? Then when we meet, we actually go over what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do things. So we're gonna get things removed off her credit. She has to do certain things too. She has to open up positive credit, and we show her how to maintain the positive credit, okay? Our job is to try to remove the negative, try to get it deleted, try to negotiate settlements, things like that, to try to get things removed in order to bump the scores, while at the same time advising her on what to do with her positive credit.
Okay, now did you run her credit report before you met with her?
Yeah, absolutely.
May I see that first credit report that you
Okay.
ran? I want to see what her credit scores look like then.
And actually, Your Honor, I have a copy as well, which I made my notes and documentation of what the credit scores would be improved by.
Yeah, and they're actually on that credit report right there, so you can see them there. And then we circle where we were supposed to pull the credit again in 4 months, which was actually March the 5th, and we pulled it 4 months to the day. And the credit scores have
got
not
it.
gone
I
up.
understand. So I see here you submitted the before credit report when you first pulled her credit, and then you submitted one for March.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is the agreement.
But the issue is, Your Honor, is the fact that when you have credit repair, you should be receiving something from the credit bureau.
Yeah, but the problem is...
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I did not receive anything from any of the credit bureaus through this whole duration, even up until this day. I have not received anything that he stated that he would do.
Okay, why is that?
Well, I think the problem came into play is because she switched addresses. Credit bureaus are very particular about the address that things are sent to. So even if she did forwarding of an address, they sometimes don't want to send things to other addresses.
I'm actually working with someone right now, and I begin the process. Within a week, I have received something which indicated that I needed verification of my address, which he's absolutely correct. However, I have not received anything from him.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the plaintiff's money seems to vanish into thin air.
Well, see, the thing about it is I don't know what happened to it. All I know is I sent out a check, and I was trying to get a copy of the canceled check for the $204 from my
So you don't
business
have a
today.
copy
No.
of the canceled check you
No,
say you sent
no, I
from
don't
your
have a
account?
copy of
You
the
have a bank statement, sir,
No.
showing that money was
No, I
removed
don't.
from your...
No, I don't.
So you don't have any evidence
No.
that money was paid?
No, I do
No.
not. But I did pay it, though.
Plaintiff Tanika Ross says she paid the defendant to improve her credit score, but all she got was excuses. She's suing for a refund. Defendant Kevin Fisher says he did his job and the problem came about because the plaintiff moved and all the paperwork got mixed up. He's countersuing for defamation of character.
I should have received something from these credit bureaus which indicated that he had begun some form of process.
When did you move? So you met with him in November of 2013. When
December,
did you Let me
moved.
finish my question.
Okay.
So you met with him in November of 2013. When did you move?
I moved December
of 2013. Okay, so
Correct.
just a month later.
Correct.
And after you moved, you had your mail forwarded to
That's
a new
correct.
address?
Absolutely.
So I don't understand if the credit unions, even if they're sending correspondence to her old address, that mail should be forwarded to her new address.
Well, but because of and this is the only reason why I can think of that the problem could have occurred, because this happened before in the 10 years when someone has switched addresses. It has always caused a problem with the person getting their stuff back. You know, it's because of the two conflicting addresses.
Did you not know that she was moving?
Well, yeah, I did know that she was moving because I was helping her in terms of, and I told her that that could be a problem when we first met, that they may,
Did he tell you that?
do a forwarding of address.
Correct.
So that may be somewhat of an issue.
And what we did was I presented him with proof of my new address, which is what the credit bureaus request, that you provide them with some proof of a utility bill or something of that sort.
Okay, and so what did you do when she submitted that proof to you? Did you turn that over? Did you turn that over to the credit union?
Well, what I did was I redid the paperwork again. I don't know what happened, why she never received anything from that point on.
Okay, but I'm asking you this, sir, because you're the expert.
Okay.
You're the person that she has hired to fix this problem, and you are now aware that she's not receiving any information from the credit unions.
Right.
So I want to know, besides doing the change of address or whatever you did with the unions, did you follow up with them to make sure she was receiving what she needs to receive?
Well, actually, I tried to follow up with her, but because of
Not
the
with her, with the credit unions.
Well, I resent the information in January again. So obviously she never received anything because I can tell.
Okay, but isn't that your job? Isn't that your job?
It is my job, but the client has to be in compliance with other issues too as well. So during the time on my contract, it specifically states that you're not supposed to inquire any more inquiries.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about. I'm still talking about why she isn't getting the information from the credit bureaus.
I don't understand why she didn't get any of the information.
Because you didn't do anything.
I properly did the paperwork, and I sent the paperwork all to all the bureaus. I even did it.
Okay, but I'm just
twice.
explaining to you is you saying I sent paperwork is not good enough when you know a client isn't receiving what they're supposed to receive from the credit bureau. It's your job to follow up to make sure she's receiving. Because why are we here today? What do you say happened?
What I say happened was he didn't do anything. He took my $350. I also provided him with an additional $205, which he was to settle one of the debts. So
tell me about the $205 debt settlement.
$204. I paid him $204 to settle one of the debts.
Which debt?
This was for Target.
Okay, tell me about that.
To settle the Target account, I deposited that money into his account. I have a letter here which states that he was going to settle. It was one amount. He settled for a certain amount.
Let me see the settlement letter from Target. So let me just make sure I understand this. So you approached her creditors
to negotiate a settlement.
For example, being Target.
Exactly.
And she owes a certain amount of money to Target. It was over $1,100, right?
Well, it was $1,077.
Okay. So then you approach them, and I'm assuming this letter to the creditor is from you?
It's from me, yes.
Okay, you approach them and you make a settlement offer to resolve this debt. In total, you offer them $204.
Absolutely.
And did they accept that offer from you?
They did verbally accept it.
Okay.
But when I...
And so they verbally accepted the offer. You communicate that to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she then deposits $204 into your account.
Right.
Correct. What do you then do with that $204?
Send it into the company.
Okay, do you have proof that you sent that in to the company?
You know what? I don't have the proof that I sent it in, but I did send the proof into.
Okay, and so again, though, you're the business person here because she's saying she received another letter from Target. May I see that letter?
Sure. Dated October 14th of 2014, which states that the debt is still outstanding.
As she stated, from October, and you made this offer to settle November of 2013, shortly after she hired you.
Right.
And now I have a letter from October, which states from Target they are still trying to collect this debt that you say you paid $204
Right.
to settle.
Right.
Can you
And-
explain that to me, sir?
Well, there was at the time that I was trying to do these settlements, I had switched over accounts because we pay it out of her trust sometimes, and I switched over accounts. So sometimes when...
Kind of like when she moved?
Right.
And they weren't able to reach, the credit bureaus weren't able to reach her, and now you're switching over accounts?
Well,
and so the money may be in between accounts?
Well, see, the thing about it is I don't know what happened to it. All I know is I sent out a check, and I was trying to get a copy of the canceled check for the $204 from my
So you don't
business
have
to
a
them.
copy
No.
of the canceled check you
No,
say you sent
no, I
from
don't
your
have a
account?
copy of
You have
the
a
canceled-
bank statement, sir,
No, I
showing
don't.
that money
No,
was
no, I
removed
don't.
from your...
No, I don't.
So you don't have any evidence
No.
that money was paid?
No, I do not. But I did pay it, though.
And Your
What's
Honor,
the
this
next
is what
issue,
I
ma'am?
have been dealing
Right,
with
you're
for over
you're
a
telling
year.
me you paid it. You want me to take your word for it, but I'm
Right.
telling you as a business person,
Right, exactly.
you keep records.
Exactly.
I want to see
Okay.
the proof.
Yeah, I don't have
Because here's the
Yeah.
proof that it wasn't paid. The proof is from Target saying
Right.
they're still trying to collect the debt that you
Absolutely.
say you paid.
Okay.
Okay, it wasn't paid.
Next on Judge Faith.
The bottom line is I have 3 pimps, 2 kids, and a dog, and I need my money back.
What do you mean by 3 pimps? What does that mean?
Plaintiff Tanika Ross paid the defendant to improve her credit so she could buy a home, but claims the defendant never showed her any documents that he did the work. She's suing for a refund for services not rendered. Defendant Kevin Fisher says he settled with the plaintiff's creditors and even sent them the money, so he doesn't owe the plaintiff anything. He's countersuing for defamation of character.
So I paid him additional $137 for another debt. I paid that to him in person because I actually had referred someone to him to provide the same assistance for him. So I paid him in cash for this particular debt. They're still contacting me stating that he was not paid.
What company was that?
This was for Advance America.
What happened with the $137 to Advance
okay.
America?
Now, the $137 for Advance America, they wanted $157.50. They came back with a different amount, and they would not confirm that they would go ahead and settle it and remove it with Advance America.
So where's the $137 she gave you?
I agree that $137 is still outstanding.
But Your Honor, we were talking on a regular basis. He could have contacted me and stated to me that, you know what, this is the amount that they're agreeing to. I could have sent him $20.
Well, that's what they agreed to.
I
Was
could have sent you
$137.50.
$20.
Okay, so perhaps you don't remember what you wrote into the court about the $137. So are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to remind you, because you wrote to me, the plaintiff also gave me money to pay off Advance America payroll, which was $137. They came back to me with a different amount. It was never cleared up, but I did send them $137.
Okay, yeah, okay, but when I checked my records, I hadn't sent them $137 once I was going through the
So you have records?
Yeah.
Great, let me see them.
No, when I checked my emails and stuff, I did not have it, okay?
This is what I've been dealing with, Your Honor, for over a year. Every time, it's always an excuse of why this was not done. The bottom line is, I have 3 pimps, 2 kids, and a dog, and I need my money back.
What do you mean by 3 pimps? What does that mean?
I'm a single mother, no assistance financially, emotionally from the fathers. This is my only source of income. I can't give another pimp my money. Meaning.
No, I'm not a pimp.
Meaning.
I'm not a pimp. I've been in business 10 years.
Analogy meaning I can't give away money to somebody and not receive any form of services.
Sir, what is your
counterclaim
about for defamation of character
Well,
for $1,000?
because she went to the Better Business Bureau on my
You're
business
absolutely
and
correct.
saying that, and I did so much work for her in terms of communicating with her.
Sir, you didn't even realize that you didn't pay $137 when you wrote into the court.
I understand.
You told her you paid it. You told the court you paid it. The first time you realized, according to you, that you didn't pay it is right now in your testimony.
Right, exactly. But over the year, I have done several things for her in terms of
That's the least you could have done, though.
in terms of communicating with her landlord, communicating to have repair services done in her home over the course of the year, basically speaking back and forth so she can get her air conditioning unit repaired, so she can get her dishwasher. They're still thinking I'm still working for her to this day and still calling me about her repairs to this day.
But that should be pro bono work. That's the least that you can do because you haven't done anything else and you have over $800 of my money.
Yeah,
Okay, so I've heard enough. I've heard enough.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
When you tell someone and someone hires you to help repair their credit, and you've told them that you've paid and settled 2 separate accounts with 2 separate companies, and she has proof that that hasn't happened, what she's saying, sir, is you kept the money and you did not pay the bill.
Okay.
That is fraud. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
And that's why she went to the Better Business Bureau.
Okay.
I would have done the same thing because the evidence is here. You said you settled with Target. They're still writing her as of a month ago asking for a payment because you didn't settle with Target, like you didn't settle with the other company, Advance America. Now, I don't know what kind of business you're conducting, but I don't think it's a coincidence that you don't have records. I think you don't have records because you don't have proof that you did the work. You don't have proof you did the work because you did not do the work. Sir, I think you need to look at your ethical obligations in your job in terms of what you do for a living and the money that you are taking for individuals and where that money is supposed to go to. It's not supposed to go to line your pockets.
Right.
And the only assumption I can make for you keeping this woman's money and not making the payments is that the money is lining your pockets, and that's a problem. I'm ordering you to return the $350 she paid you for your services because you did not do your job. And I'm also ordering you to pay her the additional $137. By the way, why haven't you given her the money back from Advance America? You say you didn't pay it.
Well, prior to this coming up, I was
You were going to?
Yeah,
okay, well, you're going to do that today. $137. I'm ordering you to refund her that money, and as well as $204 for Target in addition to her court costs. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $691 plus court costs. Good luck.
Thank you.
Tenant trouble.
I thought she was very responsible.
What was the reason you didn't pay rent in January?
Well, Your Honor, she was gone for 3 weeks, okay? And
what does that have to do with anything?
I was taking care of her dog, and he pooped a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I picked up dog poop everywhere.
Okay, and what are you saying exactly? Because you did that.
Well, I'm just saying I didn't have the money at the time.
Did you pay January rent?
No.
And a painting predicament.
Did you have permission to spray paint the wall in the room?
Well, she said I could paint my room, but, you know, I just made it look really bright. Looks nice.
I mean, that's very different from painting a room.
And Judge Faith sets house rules.
I did not allow her friends. I did not want all these people here.
Oh, but her church friends are okay.
Well, it's her house. It's her apartment.
Exactly.
You live there. I mean, you know, so if she sets some rules in place, you sort of have to abide by them.
Plaintiff Denise Bailey says her former roommate was a nightmare and that she did lots of damage to her property. She's suing for $5,000 in property damage. Defendant Claudette Burke says that she doesn't owe the money because she paid by cleaning and doing landscape work. She's countersuing for $620 for utility bills.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. First case, Your Honor, Bailey versus Burke.
Thank you, Barbara. Ms. Bailey, you're here today suing your former roommate for $5,000 for past due rent and damages to your apartment. And Ms. Burke, you say you don't owe because you did work to pay off the rent. You're countersuing for $620 for a TV and an electric bill?
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Bailey, what's going on?
Okay, well, I met the defendant in 2013 of November through a mutual friend, and she needed a place to live. And I had a room she could rent, and we hung out for the first week, you know, because I'm a welder, so I travel a lot.
How did the two of you meet?
Through a mutual friend.
Okay.
And
what were the circumstances of that meeting?
At a bar.
At a bar? Okay.
Don't interrupt. But anyways. So we hung out for a week, and we were having fun, and she's funny, and I thought she was very responsible. And apparently
After
she's
knowing
not.
her for a week, you thought she was responsible?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, she
curious
actually,
as to-
I mean, she seemed nice, you know, and she didn't, yeah.
I am responsible.
No,
And what happened
she's not
next?
responsible.
Don't interrupt, please.
Sorry, ma'am.
Thank you.
What happened after that week?
Okay, well, I left for to Alaska. I'm on the pipeline, and I come back about 3 weeks later.
What do you mean by a pipeline? You work on a pipeline?
Yes, I'm a welder.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
All right.
keeps me busy.
For a girl.
Anyways, when I got back about 3 weeks later, I see these bikes outside my place.
You saw bikes?
Not motorcycles, bikes.
Okay.
Okay. She had, I seen gangbangers.
Wait, hold on a second. I think you're getting ahead of me. So at some point, the two of you decide to live together. You're already living in an apartment or a house.
Right.
Okay, how many bedrooms?
2.
How many bathrooms?
2.
And the two of you have a discussion and you decide that you're going to invite her to live with you as a roommate?
Right.
She agreed to pay rent.
Right.
Did the two of you sign a lease agreement?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that?
Yes,
Let me
I do.
see it. Okay, so when do you have the discussion about paying rent? Like what month is this? What month and year?
December 1st, 2013.
Okay, so you meet in November.
Right.
And then in December, you have a discussion about her becoming your roommate.
Right.
Okay, was she working at the time?
Yes.
Where was she working?
She's an entertainer. She does
I
like
have shows.
Foxy Boxers.
What kind of entertainment were you doing?
Well, I have 5 shows. We box in bikinis, and I'm an ex-Penthouse pet, and all the girls from
She's a
Penthouse,
pet.
a lot of
What is, I'm sorry, I have no idea what that is. Box in bikinis?
I know, Miss, Your Honor. I saw you. You were first runner-up in Miss America pageant. By the way, you should have won. By the way, but anyways, Miss Louisiana, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you know what I'm
You
talking
did your
about.
homework, I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And so like we have 5 shows. We box in bathing suits, and the bar hires us, and the standing room only, and that's how I met Miss Bailey.
But what do you do in the show exactly?
We
just curious,
dance,
I don't know anything about it.
we don't dance. We box in bathing suits. We actually
doesn't.
really
She
box.
collects money.
And that's
Yeah.
how you earn money?
Correct.
And how much were you earning at the time?
At the time, well, I had 5 shows when I first met her, but then I got 3 of them canceled because 2 of my girls got injured pretty bad. But so they pay us. They would pay me $1,000. I'd pay the girls, which was 4 girls to 6, $40 for an hour's work of boxing, and I was making good money, really good money.
Okay, and how did you get started in that sort
How
of
did I get started?
profession?
Well, like I said, I was in the pageantry myself. I've been doing that most of my life. I was Penthouse pet, and
She was a pet.
Hold on a second, Miss.
Don't interrupt. So, anyways, and like I've always done the entertaining, field.
I was just curious about.
Yeah, we're just
doing
entertainers. That's why she thinks I have gangbanger friends. That's what type of crowd follows, for what I do.
So you were doing that in December. You were earning about
Yeah, I was.
$1,000 a
Mhm,
week.
correct. Yep.
Okay. And so, did you pay December rent when you moved in?
Yes, I did.
And how much did you pay?
$800.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Was there because I see that you're suing for damages. Did you require her to put down a security deposit?
No, I did not.
What was the reason for that?
Because I just didn't ask her for it. I trusted her. I felt like we were friends.
So you didn't require her to pay a security deposit, but she does pay December rent.
Right.
What about January?
No, she didn't.
Okay, and what was the reason you didn't pay rent in January?
Well, Your Honor, she was gone for 3 weeks, okay? And
what does that have to do with anything?
I was taking care of her dog, and he pooped a lot. You know what I mean? Like I picked up dog poop everywhere.
Okay, and what are you saying exactly? Because you
well,
did
I'm
that.
just saying I didn't have the money at the time because I had, like I said, my show, 2 of my shows, 3 of my shows got canceled. So I told her I was going to be a little late on the rent.
Did you pay January rent?
No.
Okay, so you owe for January.
Yeah.
Okay, and plaintiff, during this time, you said you had some issues with her. What was going on inside of the apartment?
Well, first of all, if you could see,
Oh,
this is
okay.
what she did to
you
the room.
have a pointer and a poster
It's
board.
not art in the bedroom. I would think she would have a little.
Wait, what is this a picture of?
Oh, this is a picture of her room that I
Okay.
rented to her. She had put love, peace.
That's
happy-
right, because it is cool.
And
like
there was.
It's not.
Hold on a second. I want
She did not
to
ask.
this to me.
And
have to,
I
it's my
mean,
room.
she even did her furniture. That's her furniture, though, by the way. But peace and look at happy face, and she put all this lingerie up on
Those
the
are-
wall.
Okay, so this is
trophies.
a collage of pictures.
Yeah, I
that
did
you
this
created.
so I could show you, because it's
Are these
the mess.
Are these paintings or
No, they're
on
like
the
spray
wall?
paint. Yeah.
It's graffiti,
And the
but it's
carp-
not.
Okay, but did you have permission to spray paint the wall in the room?
Well, she said I could paint my room, but I just made it look really bright. looks
Okay.
nice.
I mean, that's very different from painting a room.
And the
so,
carpet. She painted the carpet too.
Okay, so you came home one day and you
Accident.
saw all of this in the room?
Yes.
Coming up, did she let gangbangers crash her pad?
So I walk in and I see these guys. They're like tatted up and smoking out of a hookah. They were smoking pot out of it.
Do you have a medical condition?
Do I? Well,
Yeah,
no.
she does. She's crazy.
Requires.
Plaintiff Denise Bailey says her former roommate was a nightmare and that she did lots of damage to her property. She's suing for property damage. Defendant Claudette Burke says she doesn't owe the money because she paid by cleaning and doing landscaping work. She's countersuing for utility bills.
So, defendant, this is your room. What is that? What is all that?
Well,
Exactly.
it's kind of a mess right now, but it was there's like things hanging on my wall. There's that thing. If there's a canopy, and she got me on a messy
Hold on
day
a
there.
second,
I don't
let me-
believe you have that. This usually clean. So, but yeah, those are just lingerie things.
Oh, is that someone lying on the bed?
That's
Is
her.
that- oh, okay.
That's me on my cell phone.
Okay, all right.
Probably trying to get a hold of her.
What is this?
That's my wall. Those are all my hats and just this lingerie that I pinned up on the wall, and it looks good.
Is there a reason why? How did you pin up the lingerie?
Well, first off, she's covering holes behind all that.
How did you pin up the lingerie?
With nails,
Okay.
some little tiny ones.
And is there any
No, big
particular
ones.
reason why you?
Because I just
wanted
thought it
to
looked
hang
cool.
up
I
your
like
lingerie?
clutter. I like it like that.
She's very
You know,
cluttered.
Miss Bailey, you have to stop talking.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I just looked to me. That's art. I don't know. I like it.
But
Everyone has their
so
own
you see the
perspective
room's
and
purple?
interpretation
Thank
of
you,
art,
you're
She
right?
painted it purple.
So, Miss Bailey, you also said that you had a problem with some of the friends
Oh
that
yes, I
she
came
brought
home.
over.
Like I said, there was bikes in the front yard. And I'm come after 3 weeks of work. I come
There
home.
are only 2 bikes, Your Honor, and this.
I didn't ask you anything.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And so I walk in and I see these guys. They're like tatted up and smoking out of a hookah. She said it was.
Don't act like you don't know what they are.
defended-
You didn't know that I
You
did.
said you were just smoking. They were smoking fruit, but they were smoking pot out of it, actually.
Okay.
It's
We might have just smoked. It
you
was
smoke
probably
pot,
fruity
Miss
pot.
Burke? Do you smoke pot? You have a.
Sorry.
Maybe, do you have a medical condition?
Do I? Well,
Yeah,
no.
she does. She's
That
crazy.
requires.
I might. Okay, Your Honor, I do get SSI, but that doesn't mean that I'm crazy. I just
She
have
goes to
ADD.
mental.
ADHD. I
All
forget
right. So,
some
and what happened after you? And so you were on a trip and you came home.
Yeah, I was
and
working. I came home from work.
You found some of her friends.
Yeah, they were like
Where?
around the table smoking pot.
Wait, hold up,
And
hold up.
hookah.
You came home and you told me that you didn't mind they were there. When you said,
No.
when you saw them walk, yes, you did.
No.
And then when the guy was on the floor asleep because he was drinking the night before, I didn't want him to drive home drunk. You know what I'm
So I
saying?
trip over them.
You kicked him.
Okay,
No, I
talk to
took-
me. Talk to
Okay.
me, Miss Bailey.
Anyways, like I said, I did not allow her friends. I did not want all these people here.
Oh, but her church
Because-
friends are okay.
Well, it's her house. It's her apartment.
Exactly.
You live there. So if she sets some rules in place, you sort of have to abide by them. And you just told me you didn't pay January rent. So frankly, you should be trying to be the perfect roommate.
Before this, I mean, it was just painted the piece, and I said, she goes, well, you said I could paint my room, and I go, well, okay, I guess she is really crazy. I'm thinking to myself, and then I got upset, and I went in my room, and I go, okay, well, I'm not gonna, because I had to go back out on another job, so I wasn't gonna start too much right then, but nevertheless.
Did you feel comfortable traveling and going away
No.
for weeks at a time?
Not after
knowing
that-
that
not after
She had her daughter
You had
come
some people
every
there?
other day to check on me, it seemed like. My friends had to go in and out the window because
Yeah.
they're afraid of her,
Well, no, it's because it's because I told her I didn't want her friends there. She could stay there, but I didn't want her gangbanger friends because I was getting.
They're not gangbangers.
So let's go through.
They're
So
gangbangers.
January rent,
They're
you didn't
gangbangers.
pay. What about February? Did
They
you pay
don't-
February
Okay, my
rent?
friends, my gangbanger friends, they came over and did all of her yard work, and it's like
Gangbangers do
They
yard
had.
work?
They had.
Well, they,
no, they had beer bottles. They
I don't
cleaned their beer
understand
bottles
this.
up.
I had bought a case of beer.
Ladies,
they came over and mowed
ladies,
the lawn.
You're
and-
talking over me now.
Sorry,
First you're
ma'am.
talking over each other, but now you're talking over me, and we're going to have a problem if you
Sorry,
don't
Miss
stop.
Jenkins.
I mean, you're calling these guys gangbangers, and when someone says gangbangers, I have a vision of what that person looks like in my mind, but then you're telling me they're planting flowers. So I don't know if they're gangbangers or, landscapers.
They just have tattoos everywhere. That's
Okay,
all.
so what are you saying? Because you and your friends did yard work and things around the house, you don't owe February rent?
Well, I figured that, watching her dog and watering her
No, ma'am,
plant.
that wasn't the agreement. Here's the thing. You signed a lease agreement to pay rent on a certain day. That means you have to pay. People come up with all kinds of excuses. It doesn't matter. You have to pay. I don't care if you were cooking gourmet meals. I don't care if you and your friends are doing landscaping out in the yard. I don't care if you think you're the next up-and-coming Martha Stewart. It doesn't matter. You have to pay rent when it's due. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Next on Judge Faith, behind on the bills.
I paid the electric bill. Well, my sugar daddy paid the electric bill. He did.
And Judge Faith tells it like it is.
But he didn't pay the rent, so he must not be that great of a sugar daddy.
And the check bounced.
Plaintiff Denise Bailey says her former roommate was a nightmare and that she did lots of damage to her property. She's suing for property damage. Defendant Claudette Burke says she doesn't owe the money because she paid by cleaning and doing landscaping work. She's countersuing for utility bills.
So February, you didn't pay rent. March, did you pay rent in March?
No.
And there was no agreement in place that you would do things around the house instead of paying rent, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then we get to April. You
gave
were
her
there.
my TV. My flat.
No, I don't care about you giving her a TV. You're not paying rent, and that was a gift.
No,
Doesn't matter.
My TV
You're trying to
disappeared.
barter goods and services instead of rent, and that's not the agreement. She can't keep the lights on with you just cooking around the house. She needs money for the rent. By the way, what is your counterclaim?
Well, I gave her that TV, and I was
The operative word being gave. So what's that? So what else?
My TV was gone.
I paid the electric bill. Well, my sugar daddy paid the electric bill. He did, and then I guess.
But he didn't pay the rent, so he must not be that great of a sugar daddy.
And the check bounced. And the check bounced on the electric. That's her gangbanger friend, so. that's her
So
sugar
you're
daddy.
suing
The
for a
right to fight.
$220 electric bill, but
Yeah.
you're not working. You're at home every day. She's traveling. You're the one using the electricity.
And for taking care of my dog, that's why I said I take care of the electricity.
So right now, you admit to not paying rent in January, February, March. You move out in April on what day?
Around the 2nd.
No, the 15th.
Or whatever.
Did you move out around the 15th of April?
I guess so.
Okay,
I
did
don't
you pay any
remember.
rent in April?
No.
Okay, what were the circumstances of her moving out?
Well, I was trying to do it nicely because of all these gangbangers. I didn't want my whole house come home and my whole house painted. I mean, she even had a little funny
Oh,
thing.
she thought I was going to get revenge on her or something.
Well, she dressed my dog up.
So are you working now, Miss Burke?
No, but I'm actually doing voluntary work for kindergarten. I teach baton and gymnastics.
Well, that's nice.
With those boobs? Pop it up.
Don't be jealous.
I'm not jealous.
So you also have a claim for damages in the amount of $2,000.
Right.
Do you have any pictures of before and after? Where I've seen the after pictures.
Well,
Do you
no,
have
I
pictures of before what the room looked like?
It was a normal, basic room with white walls and
Let me see what
doors.
you have there.
This is the contractor. I didn't.
The carpet wasn't new.
It wasn't black and with stars on it either.
Okay, this isn't sufficient because this is just an invoice that says that with an estimate showing that the work would be $2,000.
Yeah.
And I need specifics. What did you have to repair? Do you have proof that you actually spent money to repair damage?
This
Okay.
guy, I paid him the $2,000.
Do you have proof that you paid this $2,000?
That was like a receipt that he gave me.
This is not a receipt.
His
It
phone
doesn't
number's-
show that you actually paid
Okay.
anything, and it
His
doesn't
phone
say
number's
that.
on there though.
I'm sorry?
His phone number's on there.
Well, I can't do your homework
okay.
for you.
I
This
know.
is court. You have to
Okay.
come in
Okay.
with proof. You have the burden of proof if there are damages.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
I see that the walls are painted with peace, love, and all of those things, and she admits to doing that. So at a minimum, I'm going
And a
to
broken
award
window.
you for,
So
you're
there was
going to
a
have to repaint that room. And you agreed to repaint it before you left, and you didn't do it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're going to have to pay for that. What other damages are you claiming?
Well, the broken window.
That's only because you made me have my friends go through the window because You know?
Also the door. where they
911.
closed-
911.
What was the problem with the door?
One of her gangbanger friends busted in the door.
The door was flimsy, anyways. I mean.
I saw your pictures. I've looked at your invoice. It's not a receipt showing that you paid anything. It's just an invoice. But based on the pictures, I am going to award you $200 in damages to at least get that room repainted. Because I personally, that's not my style, and I understand that that's something that you may not want. The defendant admits to not paying rent in January, February, March, and April. So you owe for rent, and I looked at the lease. You also required $50 late fee if she didn't pay rent, so I'm going to include that as well in your judgment for a total of $2,800 in back rent and late fees. In addition, I'm going to award you $200 in damages so that you can get the room repainted. You're not getting anything for your counterclaim. It's sort of ridiculous that you even brought that. You lived there for 3.5 months and didn't pay anything. So with that being said, my judgment verdict, $3,000 for the plaintiff. Have a good day, ladies.